Bro, a lot of times we find ourselves just going through life and just doing any and everything just because we're comfortable. And when you find yourself, in that state of mind to where like you're overly comfortable and you're just doing what you feel like doing all the time, that's gonna get in between you and your goals and you elevating your life. And this could be, you know, as simple as, you having your small goals because what I'm saying, we got, a lot of people be going through a lot of different things in life. You might be dealing with debt or this and that, or, just trying to like, achieve certain things that you just never thought that you could achieve before. But listen, we all know that no one is going to come save us. If you don't know that by now, then you're late, and you need to recognize that, because by you realizing that no one's going to come save you, is going to force you to change your life. You know, you're going to be forced to put in work, in terms of whatever you want to achieve in life, by just knowing that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things that we do in life, you know, we don't take it serious. Like if you're starting, you know, uh, if you're starting additional streams of income and you really want to change your life and elevate, you have to take what you're doing seriously. You know what I'm saying? Because when I started posting content early on, my first two vids, you know what I'm saying, like the first week, it didn't feel as if I was taking it serious. Even though I am serious about what I want to do and what I'm doing in my life, but the first two vids, early on, it didn't feel as if I was taking it serious. You know what I'm saying? I just forced myself to start, and that is a good thing. You don't ever be ashamed or anything of that nature. If you start when you're not ready, it's okay, because it's better than not starting at all. So, but early on, I didn't have the mindset as if I was really taking it serious. I was just, just doing what I know I needed to be doing. I just kept posting, just kept going. But now I'm recognizing that I have to take it even more serious and put even more effort and work towards this craft in order for me to elevate the way I want to. And you have to have that mindset, because if you're working towards whatever you have planned and all your goals or whatnot, you could be working towards your craft, and if you're not taking it serious, the results won't be what you like for them to be. If you're not taking your craft serious, don't expect to grow and level up and learn from certain things, because you're not going to be taking it serious. And by you doing that, it's going to be easier for you to fall off your float. It's going to be easier for you to give up when things aren't going your way. So take take your craft serious, bro. Things aren't going to just be going how you wanted to early on. Like, things aren't going to flow that way. It's going to take time. That's why it's called a journey. You feel me? And by you falling in love with the journey, it's going to cause you to work even harder, and it's going to cause you to stay in the flow state. And what I mean by flow state is just staying focused on your craft and working towards what you're working on without letting anything distract you. That's what the flow state is. And by you staying in the flow state, you're going to be able to withstand all the obstacles that life will throw at you. It could be something simple as a new tire, like you need a new tire, or like your car, something going on with your car, you need to get fixed. That's an obstacle, right? And a lot of people aren't prepared for obstacles like that to be happening. Some people just like, that's why we speak and preach about financial management on this channel, is because we're trying to make sure everyone is set and everyone is well put off in life as far as financially speaking, so that when certain things come up, certain things happen, you'll be prepared for that, while at the same time working towards your goals. All of this stuff will help you in the future. Like, you need to be financially smart to elevate in life. You have to make the right decisions. And this can be at any point in your life. You can find yourself making 100K a year. You can find yourself, with over $1 million in your bank account. But guess what? If you're not financially smart, guess what? You're gonna waste all that money, and it's gonna be gone in the next 5 years. And it's so many examples of this in life. Like, you got Odell Beckham. It was something on the internet where like he was saying $100 million isn't enough for, him. And the average person, if you give the average person $1 million, or if you say, would that be able to last you for the rest of your life? The average person would say yes. That's more than enough, to be able to last you for the rest of your life. It's just how you manage your money, how you spend your money, what you choose to do with your money, man. So that's why all this is important, bro, because you want to work towards setting yourself up for the future. That's the whole point of this channel. You know, no matter what you do in life, no matter what you choose to focus on in life, the main thing that is important is setting up you and your family for success. Make sure that y'all have the necessities that everyone needs: food, water, shelter. Make sure that you're financially set so that you can live the life that you always dreamed of living. That's the whole purpose of this channel. But in order for you to achieve all those things, it's going to take for you to be serious with life, bro. Be serious with whatever you're doing. If you're in high school still and you're trying to be an athlete, bro, don't be fucking around. Don't be out here just trying to be nilly willy, getting caught up in like the females and all this and that. You got to be locked in. You got to be focused on what aspire to achieve, bro. And for the females too, for the females, if you plan on starting your own business, or if you plan on doing this and that, you're gonna have to be locked in too. You're gonna have to be focused on that too, because it's a lot of distractions out there for all of us, and you can't get caught up in the distractions. You can't. You have to be able to go through life and get things done, bro. Like, that's something that I'm recognizing right now as an adult in the year 2026. You got to get things done, and you have to be smart. You know, a lot of us don't have high paying jobs. Like myself, I don't have a high paying job. I have like an average paying job. I have just enough to pay my bills and stuff, right? So, with me knowing that, I can't afford to make certain decisions. I can't afford to buy a car that I know I can't really afford. And cause myself to be living paycheck to paycheck and not being able to, pay my bills and stuff. I can't afford to make that choice. And a lot of y'all can't afford to make that choice either, bro. So this is what I'm saying. This is your sign to take life serious, bro. Elevate your life. Aspire to change your life, bro. You have to. You can't just be out here just being caught up in certain things, because I know a lot of us can relate to having, a certain type of friend group, and not even just that, but just coming up, seeing certain things in life. Like, you may have grown up and you might have an artist that you look up to, and they might be spewing out a certain type of lifestyle that you might think is cool. And we all heard of the rappers, this and that, whoop whoop. I'm not knocking it or anything, but at the same time, that ain't your life. You ain't grow up living that life, bro. So like, and a lot of people can like relate to that though, because a lot of us have friends where it's like they weren't really grown up living that life, and they just start like letting all this type of stuff influence them. And now they're on a different type of frequency. But when you're on that frequency, when you over thugging it, when you over doing all that stuff and trying to do the wrong things in life, don't expect for your life to be a certain way. Don't expect for things to be flowing, and like for you to be chilling and financially set, and for things to just be going good. And like, don't expect that when you're focused on the bullshit in life. When you focus on BS is gonna happen. Like we all can relate to having like certain homies that's like in the streets or whatnot, that don't ever learn to escape the streets, or that don't ever learn to work towards something better. And we see it every year, bro. It's like, and like, I'm only 20, but I can still see like from the past generations, like, it's the same shit. People doing the same shit. You want to have a group that's focused on finances, and focused on getting rich, focused on elevating your life, elevating our lives and stuff of that nature. If your friend group isn't focused on those things as you're getting out of high school, or as you are in a full grown adult, if your friend group isn't focused on those things, you need to separate yourself from them. And it's the hard truth, bro. You have to. That's the only way you're going to be able to ever. That's the only way you're going to be able to elevate your life, is if you separate yourself from those things, because you have to be in a certain type of frequency to elevate your life. You have to, it's going to take a certain type of, locked in. You have to be locked in. You have to really be focused on certain things. And A lot of our friend groups we can relate to the fact that they're not locked in. They're not really focused on elevating their life. A lot of our friends do regular everyday shit, and they don't. You don't really find yourself speaking with your friend group on certain things that you wish you would talk about. Like, a lot of our friend groups, we don't see ourselves talking about nice cars, how to make more money, how to save, how to invest, how to do this and that, buying property. You don't see your friends talking about that, man. If you don't see that, that is a sign that you need to step away from them, bro. Because yeah, you can live nilly willy when you're young, when you're a child or whatnot. But when you come out of high school and when you become an adult and you have responsibilities and you start paying bills, bro, life changes. Like it changes completely, like instantly. Like as soon as you turn 18, bro, all of that living like a kid and shit is raps. You have to make a way for yourself. Your parents, if you don't have rich parents, it's raps, bro. You have to that is as soon as you turn 18, it's time for you to lock in and change your life, bro. Because your parents ain't gonna do it for you. No one's gonna do it for you. Your high school teachers, no one that you looked up to is not gonna come save you, bro. Once you turn 18, it's time to lock in and change your life. You're gonna figure it out sooner or later. Your life is gonna be a certain way. Either you're not gonna be able to have certain things, you won't have a car, you won't have a house, you won't have a crib or anything. So you're gonna be living with your family, right? And let you not be on your ground, let you not be at least working or at least trying to, get certain things and work towards being stable on your own, or let you not try to like at least elevate your life or at least be able to live on your own, like have your own car, have your own crib. Your family members is gonna treat you a certain way, and this is just true. Like you can just look at certain people in certain situations, they get treated a certain way because of that. Honestly, that's life, and that's not even a bad thing because it all shows your work ethic, and it all shows what you're willing to do. A lot of people that are in fucked up situations, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I have sympathy and everything, but we gonna have to keep it real. A lot of people who are in fucked up situations is because of them. They don't work enough. They don't have the work ethic. They don't want to change their life. By them not really wanting to change their life, they're not gonna do certain things to change their life. So they're gonna be stuck in certain situations. So it's really self-explanatory, but you have to lock in and take life serious. You're never going to get rich, or not even just get rich, but you're never going to really achieve financial freedom if you don't take life serious. You know, like hey, it is what it is. The real ones gonna recognize the real, and the ones who ain't real, they gonna let it fly past, bro. You either can take the knowledge, you either can take this motivation and not only let it inspire you, but actually let it change you. When you start coming across certain vids where it's like people are preaching certain things and it's like it's nothing but positivity, towards your life, and it can help you change your life. You have a choice in that moment, bro. You're either gonna take that type of frequency and allow it to change you, and really start making different decisions in life, really start changing your habits, changing your ways so that you can elevate your life, or you can just ignore it. And when you do that, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to change. You're going to stay the same. And in order for you to elevate your life, you have to change. All of that, oh, I never changed, I stayed the same. That shit is cap. No one who's ever been successful has ever stayed the same. They changed in some way. Whether you know it or not, they changed in some way because they learned certain things, they experienced certain things that taught them new things. And when you learn certain things, you change. So especially when you experience certain things, you change. So hey man, take heed to this. If you want to change your life, bro, you have to take life serious, bro. Stop bullshitting. Start that craft now and take it serious, bro. Treat that as if it's your own business. When it comes to entrepreneurship and trying to, escape your 9 to 5 so that you can live a more free life and do the things you always dreamed of doing, you have to take your craft serious, bro. Whatever you're working on, treat that like it's a business, because it is a business. You're gonna be paying your own taxes soon. I am too. So with all that being said, man, take life serious, stop bullshitting, and lock the fuck in. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one, man. Peace out.